Here we have a percent and we have to express it as a decimal. Remember, you can think of a percent as a number out of 100. So 35% is 35 out of 100 equals 0.35. 82.1% is 82.1 out of 100 equals 0.821. 210% is 210 out of 100 equals 2.1. 6.25% we can rewrite as a decimal number first, so 6.25%. And now 6.25% is 6.25 out of 100. That equals 0.0625. Round to 2 decimal places. So we're going to round up to here. We are going to look at the next number after 2 decimal places, which is 6. 6 is more than a 5, so 4 will be rounded up. So that equals rounded 32.75. Question B. If we round, that equals 2.95. Because the next number after the decimal place is 4, and that's less than a 5, so we're rounding down. For question C, you see that the next number after 2 decimal places is 7, so we're going to round up. But if you round 9 up, that makes it a 10. Now 10 will round the next number up, so that makes it a 10. So instead of a 26, now we are rounding that up as well. So the rounded number to 2 decimal places here will be 27.00. Question D, similar situation. We have a 5, so we are going to round up. If I round up here, that's going to round up the next one because we have a 9, and it's going to round up the next one because we have a 9, and round up the next one. So we end up with approximately $80. Here we have a decimal number and we have to express it as a percent. So we're going to do the opposite. We are going to multiply by 100 in order to get from a decimal number to a percent. 0.08 times 100 equals 8%. Question B. If I multiply by 100, we get 32.54%. We're also asked to round to 1 decimal place, so that equals approximately 32.5%. Because the neighbor to the right is 4, so we are rounding down. Question C times 100 equals 0.459%. We're asked to round to 1 decimal place, so again we are going to look at the neighbor to the right and see that we have to round up. That is approximately 0.5%. Question D. If I multiply by 100, we get 137.6%. For these questions, we have a fraction that has to be expressed as a percent. So we will express the fraction as a decimal number first, and then express the decimal number as a percent. 2 divided by 7 equals, and we have a long decimal number. Now to express it as a percent, we would multiply that by 100. So times 100 equals 28.571, and so forth. We're asked to round to 1 decimal place. So we're looking at the neighbor to the right, which is 7, and that tells us that we are going to round up. The answer will be 28.6%. Next one, 35 out of 55. 35 divided by 55 equals, and now to express this decimal number as a percent, we will multiply that by 100 equals 63.63, but we have to round to 1 decimal place. So the 3 will round 6 down. So the answer is 63.6. Question G. Here we have to divide 7 divided by 9, and to express it as a percent, we will times by 100. We get 77.777. We are rounding to one decimal place, so the second decimal place is 7, which tells us we're going to round up. So the answer will be 77.8%. Question H. $11 divided by 7. Here's our decimal number, and now to get it to a percent, we multiply by 100. 157.14. We are rounding to one decimal place. 4 is less than a 5, so the answer will be 157.1. Here we have to calculate a percent of a number. So to calculate 9% of 365, there are a couple things you can do. You can either change 9% to a decimal number and then multiply by 365, or you could set a proportion. We are going to change the 9% to a decimal number. 9% is 0.09, and 0.09 times 365 equals 0.09 times 365 equals 32.85. 12.5% we can rewrite as 0.125 times 4560 equals 0.125 times 4560 equals 570. 7% of $456.78 we can calculate as 0.07 times 456.78 equals, and we get 31.9746. Since we're talking about dollars, we would round to two decimal places because we only have a 1 cent. We don't have less than 1 cent. So it's going to be 31.97, and 4 is less than a 5, so it's rounding down. So that equals approximately $31.97. 8% we can rewrite as 0.08, and now we're calculating 8% of this number, so times 1276.99. 0.08 times 1276.99 equals $102.16, and 16 because the third decimal place is 9, so we are rounding up, so 102.16. $102.16. A regular price of a DVD player is $89.99, and on sale it has 20% off. So first we are asked to calculate the discount, and the discount is 20%. So I'm going to calculate the 20% of $89.99. I can rewrite 20% as 0.2, and to calculate the discount I will multiply it by the price, $89.99 equals 0.2 times $89.99 equals. Here, since we're talking about money, we will always round to two decimal places, so the answer is $18. Now we are asked to calculate the sale price. Well, the sales price is when you take the regular price and subtract the discount. So we will take $89.99 and we will subtract the discount. That equals $71.99. Now it's asking us to calculate the HST, or the tax. Currently the tax is 13%, so we want to calculate 13% of the price. The tax always gets applied after the discount's been already applied. So we are calculating 0.13 times 71.99, and that equals 0.13 times 71.99 equals, and again, because we're talking about money, we will be rounding it to 2 decimal places. So it's 9.36. 9.36 dollars. Calculate the total cost of the DVD player means that we are going to take the sale price, so once the discount has been applied, and we are going to add the tax to that. So $71.99 plus 9.36. 71.99 plus 9.36 equals 81.35. So for a DVD player with a price of $89.99 that has a sale on for 20%, you will end up paying $81.35 after the tax has been applied to it.